In the next half hour, you will learn how to texture this Batmobile inside Blender Octane Edition using Octane Render tools. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so here we are inside Blender Octane Edition. Let's go to File, New, and Octane Default Startup. And let's set up our Octane kernel. Let's select the Octane kernel here. Let's change this to the path tracing kernel. Reduce the max samples, something like on the render like 200, on the preview like 100, and on the let's turn on the adaptive sampling, and in the minimum adaptive samples, let's put here something like 50. And okay, we're good with this. Let's go to the shader editor and let's delete everything, and let's turn off the post processing. Okay, I'm gonna import my Batmobile 3D model. I'm gonna leave the link on the description. Here we got it. Let's call this collection Batmobile, and I'm gonna press S10, enter, and let's press S one more and 10 just to fix the scale. Okay, so let's go to the render view. Here we are, and let's activate here the access tone mapping. Okay, let's go to the world, and let's change the environment to texture environment. Let's add a new RGB image, plug this here. Let's add a spherical projection. Let's plug this here, and let's add a sphere transform. Alright, and let's import our Studio HDRI. Okay, this is looking good, and let's start to work. Okay, so click on this object. Let's call this chassis or body, maybe better. Let's go to the object shading. I'm going to delete this, and I'm gonna go here to my file browser. I'm gonna go to my Batmobile, and here I got my texture. So let's import the body diffuse, the body roughness, and the body normal. Okay, awesome. So right here we got the universal shader that is something really similar to the principled shader, but better. Let's plug the diffuse in the albedo slot. Here we got it. And here we got the roughness. Let's plug this here. Let's plug this here on the normal. Okay, let's turn on the metallic. And okay, I'm gonna add a new collection, call it lighting. I'm gonna add a new Octane area light here. And let's delete this texture emission. Let's add a black body emission here. And let's add a Gaussian spectrum in the texture. And let's increase the size of this, something like this. And let's put this here. And okay, this is looking nice. Now let's increase the width and the wavelengths. And let's turn on the surface brightness, and let's bring this down to something like 10. Okay, let's duplicate this, and let's move this here. maybe increase the size even more. And okay, this is looking nice. I'm gonna go to the slides and I'm going to the visibility, I think, or viewport display, Octane settings, and turn off the camera here. Also the shadows. Same here, turn off the camera and the shadow projection of this light. And okay, we can work with this now. Okay, so as you can see, we got this really cool material, but this is honestly not looking good if we get closer to the model. So let's see how can we improve this. So let's go to the object. I'm gonna delete this roughness and this albedo. I'm gonna make this black or a dark gray. And okay, we got this metallic and this roughness. The first thing we're going to do is to add some subdivisions. First, I'm going to reduce the normal to something like 0.2. We're going to go here on the data tab, go here to the open subdivisions and enable this. And let's put this on something like 2. And to see the effect on this, we have to reload the mesh. So turn this off and turn it on again. And you can see this here. And the sharpness, let's increase this to something like 2. Reload the mesh again. And okay, here we are. It's looking nice. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to do is to get rid of these sharp edges. So if we were using cycles, we could add a bevel node on the normal map, on the normal slot. But in this case, in Octane Render, we got something that we call round edges. So if we increase the radius here, you will see how the sharp edges become smoother. Okay, and for example, if I decrease the samples, you can see that this here looks really ugly. But if we increase this looks smoother. Also, we can play with the roundness. Okay. And let's reduce the radius to something like 0.01 or 0.001. Okay, and as you can see, we got here this really good smooth line. Actually, point this on 0.002. And okay, this is looking nice. So now we're going to add dirt texture. Let's press Ctrl-Shift-Click and invert the normal and increase the tolerance. And on the radius, let's put a really low value like 0.01, I think, or 0.02. Let's increase the strength to something like 10 and increase the detail also. Let's reduce this to something like 0.1. And let's play with the distribution. Put this on 0. And okay, here we got this really cool outline on the model. So I'm gonna go here to Quixel Bridge. I'm gonna get this grungy surface texture. I'm gonna import this here and plug this on the radius map. Okay, and as you can see, we got here some imperfections, but let's see how can we have more control over this. So I'm gonna press Ctrl-Shift-Click, and this is what we got. I'm gonna add an UV transform and an UV projection here. Let's reduce the scale to something like 0.2. And here we got more details here on the edges. Let's add a gradient map. And actually, let me change the texture because honestly I don't like this. So maybe this scratched metal will work for us. So let's go to files, go to Blender, and let me copy the direction here, the path. So Control C. Let's go to the texture, space this, and select this roughness. Okay, nice. Let's go to this gradient map. Bring this down and bring this down, bring this up, sorry. And let's go to the dirt texture. And okay, let's add more radius, maybe something like 0.3, 0.2. And okay, let's also reduce the size to something like 0.1. And okay, maybe bring this down again. And okay, nice. Perhaps we should have to increase the radius to something like 0.03. I'm not honestly sure. And okay, I like this. Okay, so let's go here to the universal shader. And first of all, let's start with the albedo. So I'm gonna plug this here on the albedo. And let's create a new gradient map. I'm gonna reduce the samples on the preview to something like 50. Okay, and let's return here, Control Shift click here. And let's flip the color ramp. Okay, and bring this down. Something like this. And let's put this in a dark gray and reduce this to something like a light gray. Nice. And plug this here. I'm gonna change the BSDF model to Beckman. Okay. Okay, nice. So now I'm gonna use this texture for the roughness. But honestly, no, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the dirt or this one. I think I'm gonna use this one. And then when we add the coating layer, we're going to use this the dirt texture as texture. Okay. So here on the roughness, let's add a gradient map. I'm gonna press Control H here and Control H here also. Control Shift click and bring this down just to add some contrast. Okay, but not too much. Maybe bring this down and bring this black up. Okay, until we got just little details here. Okay, it's looking really nice. And let's press Control H here. And now let's add a bump on this material. So right here you can see the bump slot. So let's bring this texture here to the bump. Okay, and as you can see, we got some nice scratches here, but this is looking ugly. So first of all, let's make this negative. So let's put this minus. Okay, nice. Let's add a gradient map and bring the black up. Put this here. Here I got some nice scratches here on the surface. You can see this here, also this here. Okay, I like it. Okay, now we're going to add the coating. But first, let me add more roughness here, even more. And okay. Okay, so let's add a coating here. Let's put this in white. Here we got our coating layer. But I think this is too much, so maybe let's bring this down. Something like 0.3. Okay. And let's go to the dirt texture and connect this to the coating roughness. And also let's connect this bump to the coating bump. Nice. And let's grab here, I'm gonna trace a line here, shift right click and move this G here. Okay, let's add a gradient here. Okay, and let's bring this down maybe. Okay. Oh, sorry, this is not, oh no, this is good, never mind. Okay, let's increase this here. And okay, this is looking nice. But I think I'm gonna use the same material here, because as you can see, I think with this coating layer we are losing a bit the details. So honestly, no, I'm not completely sure. But let me delete, unplug this here, Control H. I'm gonna move this here and bring this texture here to the coating roughness. Okay. I'm gonna take this, Shift D, and connect this here. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm editing this the wrong gradient. This one. Okay. Okay, this is looking nice. Now I'm gonna change a bit the bump. Let's see. Okay. Nice. And maybe I'm gonna change the model maybe to Octane or UGX maybe. I think I prefer the Octane look, honestly. And okay, now on the coating IOR, let's increase this to something like 2.5 maybe. And okay, this is looking really nice. Another thing that I'm going to do is to plug this dirt texture on the metallic. Shift D, add this here. And let's put this completely black. Bring this here. Okay, plug this here. And let me bring the coating layer down. And okay, I really like how this is looking here. We got these nice scratches. We got the roughness, we got some details on the road edges. So you can see this here. It's looking really nice. I like it. So, okay, now I'm going to show you how to create the glass material here. So let's add here, let's change the name of this to something glass. Let's create here on the universal material of this. Let's change the material name to glass also. Shift A. And let's add a gray scale color. Plug this on the transmission. And put this on 1. And let's reload the glass mesh. And bring the albedo down. Reload this again. And bring the roughness down also. And here we got our glass material. And maybe if we want to make this darker, we can to give this some kind of reflection with the metallic. Make it like a dark glass. Nice. And I'm gonna go to here on this body mesh. I'm gonna copy this material. Let's call it Batmobile chassis. And I'm gonna copy these 3 nodes, this texture, Control C. Let's go here to the glass, Control V, where we got it, and plug this here on the roughness. And I think I'm gonna change these to Beckman. Nice. Let's add a gradient map and bring this down. And let's give this some scale. Something like this. And I don't like this mirrored looking, so I'm gonna delete this transform. Let's add a box projection. Plug this here on the projection. Okay. And let's play with the scale. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, nice. I like this. Well, let's plug this here again in the material output. And let's bring this down. It's black. Bring this white here to bring some details to the glass. Bring this up again. And okay, I don't know if you can see these, but here I got these really cool details. Actually, let me bring this white down because you just want a touch. Okay. So you can keep playing with these until you got a better result, but I like this. So, okay. So now let's go with the tire PBR material. So let's change the name of this to tire. I think these are the front tires, so front tires. And let's add here, let's delete this. And let's add that these wheels diffuse, the wheels roughness, and the wheels normal map. So let's plug this on the albedo. Let's plug this roughness on the roughness slot. And let's plug this normal on the normal. Okay, here we got our normal map, roughness, and the diffuse. But this is not looking quite good. So let's see how can we improve this. So first of all, the roughness is honestly pretty bad because even if I add a gradient map here, this is looking really ugly. So what we're going to do here, first of all, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna plug this here on the metallic. Let's add a gradient map here and bring the white down and bring the black up, so we can add this metallic on the tire except the wheels. So plug this here. Okay, here we got this nice metallic, and now I think I'm gonna need a mix of these textures. So what I'm going to do is to add a mix texture node. I'm gonna plug this here on the roughness. I'm gonna plug this here and plug this here. Okay, let's see how this looks. And okay, so let's add here a gradient map. Bring this down. Also, I'm gonna add a gradient map here. And I think I'm going to invert this. Bring this down. Not too much. Okay, let's plug this here. And okay, I think this is looking nice. And maybe can play with this a bit more. Okay. And okay. Nice. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do is to add some front and rear lights. So let's bring my lights again. And I'm gonna go here. For some reason, this is looking solid. I don't know why, because we got here the glass. So maybe if I reload this, okay, so we got this glass here and the same here. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna turn off this glass. Let's call this tire glass. Okay. And here I'm gonna call this front glass. If you don't know what I'm talking about, is about these models here. Also this one. I'm gonna turn this off because we need to select some polygons here. So let's select the tires. Let's go here to the material tab and let's add a new slot, and let's call the material of this tire. And here let's add a new slot. Let's create a new material, call it blue emission. And let's delete this and let's add a diffuse material. And make this black. And let's add a black body emission. Bring this here, connect this to the emission. And finally, let's add a Gaussian spectrum and connect this to the texture slot. Let's go to the render view. And finally, let's go here to the tire. Let's go to edit mode. And with the L key, we're going to select these three circles here. So L, L, L here, and the same here, L, so Control Z, L, 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 okay, and let's assign this material. So if we go to the render view, here we got this material assigned to this. Let's turn on the surface brightness. Let's reduce this wavelength to something bluish. And okay, let's reduce the brightness also. Something like this, the power to 10 maybe. Increase the brightness again. And okay, let's do the same with the chassis. Select this, edit. And let's add a new material here. Select the blue emission. Let's select here L, L, L. Same here, L, L, L. Holy shit. L. Okay. Assigned. Let's go to the object mode and render mode. Render view, sorry. And awesome, here we got this really cool material. And finally, let's add the same material to the rears. Here, the rear light. And okay. Let's bring back the tire glass here. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this material and let's call this tire glass. And let's call this, let's change this to Octane. Not sure if this is going to work. Reduce the metallic to bring back the complete luminosity of this and the roughness. Disconnect this here and just add a bit of this. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go to the rear lights. Let's add here our blue emission, but actually I'm going to duplicate this. Let's call this red emission. Red emission. Nice. Let's reload the mesh. And let's make this red. Let's increase the wavelength, reduce the width, increase the power. Okay. Something like this. And increase the power to something like 20. Reduce the width even more, increase the power. And okay, this is looking really nice.